Hello, Virgo, and welcome to your December forecast. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. The little furry guy behind me is Apollo, and I hope you all are ready to take a look at the month ahead. We've got a lot to talk about today. In particular, I want to start off with channeled messages. These are things that come through straight in meditation and dreams, and there was so much coming forth for your sign today. So the first thing that I saw was beautiful. I believe this is the first time I've received this symbol from Spirit. I was shown a ballet dancer, and particularly I was shown the slippers. And when it comes to things that matter this month, it could be trying to get, something done at school or in work or even in a relationship. Spirit kept showing me the sort of gift and the art of the dance. So there could be a back and forth in negotiations. Even if you're trying to buy a house or something like that, we're looking at not just about one sort of like swift movement, but back and forth and back and forth. And eventually everything comes together in a beautiful sort of sequence. So try to have fun in the dance of creation. Know that good things sometimes take a little bit of work, but ultimately it shows me that you're going to land on your feet because I was shown those dancer slippers. So that was beautiful. That was the first message that came through. The next thing had to do with there was a lot of like performance oriented stuff, but turning on the lights. For some of you, this could represent a new chapter, and you're sort of like maybe announcing something. So maybe there is launch of a business. Some of you might be getting into a relationship. You may be starting something new and trying to shine a light in an area that basically no one has looked before. So the beginning stage, the setup stage, takes some time. And I'm talking about like stage as in a part of your life, not just the physical stage. That's what Spirit used to kind of show this sort of section here. So we have a creative dance. We have lights shining on a stage showing like, here's how it's going to happen. So this could also be presentation, plan, etc. We put the two together, you're going to be in the spotlight. We could actually see that the star energy would be coming forth. But don't get dismayed if it takes a little longer than expected for something to start. And definitely, don't be afraid to show people. Maybe it's even, if communication isn't working, showing a picture, pointing to something in everyday life that aligns to your vision. Ultimately, I feel like you're going to be able to bring this together. The question mark for me had to do with location. All Spirit showed me was a spinning globe. So some of you are trying to either decide like where to move. Some of you might be deciding like where to go next. Or it just shows me that when it comes to figuring out the next move, it's kind of, there is this internal knob that needs to be turned as far as like, where do you see yourself? Because to me, a spinning globe isn't always just like travel or location. It's more sort of like goal-oriented. Where to next? And the way that guides, Spirit, and even your higher self works is when you set an intention, then the globe stops spinning and like a little dotted line appears and things start to open up. Take some time during December to do soul searching and decide, what is it that I still need or want to experience? What's on my bucket list? This informed intention is going to help create some momentum, shine some light on things, and really help you accomplish what you want, okay? Take a moment, please close your eyes and imagine that you're staring up at a starry sky above. The moon is shining down on you, creating a circle of silver light, and you feel this sense of safety and connection to Source. In this moonlight, I'd like you to welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. I'm doing the same, calling them into this reading today in particular to help you see what you need to see in many ways to get outside of your own way and really allow abundance and opportunity to come forth. Open your eyes if you will. Let's give the cards a shuffle and begin. This can be used, by the way, for Sun, Rising Moon, or Venus. You can also watch for the loved ones in your life as well. Everybody's welcome. All right, Virgo, let's take a look at your catalyst message. First and foremost, the catalyst helps you spark change and movement. That sparking piece is key because I feel like some of you might be stagnating a bit. And the message here, which is reversed, is fun or playfulness. Let's look at this in the upright position. I love that they put butterflies on this because when you give yourself a chance to get out of the work or learning mode, or even fixating on trying to get something in your life, maybe finding a job, finding a relationship, finding a place to live, whatever it is where you're very goal-oriented, goals are great, but if we're focusing on a lack or comparing yourself to someone else, it just kind of like gets you stuck in that feeling. Play is a really great way to get out of that. For those that have children or dogs, you know what I'm talking about. We'll talk about children first. In kindergarten and first grade and primary school, recess is a part of the curriculum because just like animals, children need time to decompress and let go of all that anxiety and energy. And then usually, I remember when I was in school, it was much easier to go back after recess, and the afternoon classes seemed to just fly by because you had that chance to channel. So find your inner child, connect with a pet in your life, get out and change up the routine a little bit, and this is going to help you possibly have a breakthrough. You could have an idea when you're, playing a sport, going for a hike, taking your dog for a walk, taking your kids to see a movie. Anything that gets you into that energy of, this is fun. I would love for you to carve it out so that at least it's in each and every week, if not every day. And it doesn't have to be a lot, and it doesn't have to cost money. I mentioned a bunch of things that are free. Just getting outside, getting into nature, all of that can help as well, okay? And really, I would say if there is anyone in your life that has a pet too, spending a little bit of time around that pet is really, really great in helping you stay grounded. If we just scan the table, I'm pretty pleased with what I see here. We are not looking at any challenging cards in the way of the Tower, the Ten of Swords, or the Devil, so that's good. In fact, quite the inverse here. What we're seeing on the side here is an opportunity that's knocking. We see positive traction when it comes to money or opportunities, or just feeling that sense of being grounded and confident, which is really important for you, Virgo. And how appropriate is it that when we're looking at the card that represents you, we have Two of Wands, and he's holding that globe right there. And that is that spinning globe that I was seeing. There are two cards in tarot that would be closely related to the globe, and that would be either the World, which is the ultimate in the major arcana, but in the minor arcana, it's enabled by this believing card, this vision card. And this, when coupled with either High Priestess or Magician energy, equals manifestation. And as we look here again at the Celtic Cross, I love that the Ace of Wands is right here sandwiched in between all of this stuff. This is the card of creating, this is the envisioning card, and here's the opportunity that you're calling in. Suffice it to say, December is a time where you can turn the tide in your favor. In fact, this page is standing there kind of in the middle of high tide saying, bring it on. I'm ready for a change. It's about time. So she's at peace with whatever is going on around her. There are some things that she can control. There are some things that she can't, but she's going to use her creative abilities to affect the things that she can. That wave of potential, of possibility, and change is part of her kind of creation. She's an agent of change. In this way, she's very much calling in sort of tower energy, but as a transmuting sort of thing. So I feel like you can really make peace with change. I'm also listening in my mind's eye, or mind's ear in this case, to an old song from the 80s, REM, It's the End of the World as We Know It, and I Feel Fine. The reason I think that this is interesting is we're coming to the end of a calendar year, and no matter what's going on, there is this feeling of, well, that's done, and there's all these new things coming in the year ahead, and it's cyclical. And you have the card of cycles in your environment right here, Eight of Cups. And things have happened before, they'll happen again. You're going to be able to weather whatever storm may come your way, and it's important to find things that bring you joy, happiness, creativity, playfulness, and make the most of this moment. There could be new love. There could be a new creative inspiration. There could be good news coming your way. Page of Cups represents joyful messages. So use joy and positivity in your messages, Look for the positivity around you. Be open to receive some good news. So that's your mantra. I'm ready to receive good news. Okay. All right, Virgo, we have a really important card crossing this, the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is touching a card here that represents networking. This one is creative energy, and this one is innovation. And so for some of you, this is kind of making sure that you're keeping a bird's eye view on that. If you own a company, this would be making sure that you don't get so mired down in the small stuff that you're losing track of the big picture. In a work situation, it's making sure that you're listening, and Hierophants are great at organizing and being the boss, not always great at listening. So this could just indicate what's going on in the place that you work, live, or spend your time, and it's just about making sure that everybody's getting a chance to be seen and heard. In this traditional card, we see 2 helpers, 2 keys, and the Hierophant himself. And in this card, we just see the 2 keys and the Hierophant. So some of you are also just juggling a lot of responsibility, and you're trying to create structure and stability, but you need some help. And it may not be like forever help, but we have 2 pages. And pages typically, if we look at it like historically, they would run an errand or do something to help you. So even if you're just delegating a single task or hiring a single person for a single sort of product or service, it could take a lot of stress off of you and allow you to continue to sort of stay in that bird's eye perspective, okay? So stay organized, delegate, and listen. Those are the 3 takeaways. And you may also have to remind other people, especially a leader in your life, to slow down long enough to listen, because this isn't necessarily just you, it's touching all the cards. There could be someone in your life that is so busy working or talking or moving that they're missing their big picture. So it's making sure that you're listening and other people are hearing what you're saying. All right, Virgo, let's take a look at your deep past. You have the 4 of Swords coming through, and this is one of the more active 4 of Swords that I've seen. If we compare it to the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, you can see this person is like up, awake, and aware, and this person is still processing things. So to me, this represents for some of you impatience. And the traditional illustration is saying, give it time and really allow for whatever it is that needs to be released or needs to sort of move into a new energy to do so. Then and only then should you move forward. So I'm normalizing the impatience, but I'm also kind of like trying to make sure that you're not rushing to something. I also think that some of you were maybe really overdue for some sort of a break in your life. And sometimes this comes in a way we didn't intend it. We can send a message to Spirit saying, gosh, I wish I had some time off. And then you get sick. And maybe you're sick for a couple of weeks and you didn't want that much time. Or you've been working and working and working, and then there's a period of time where there's like unemployment or a break or a lull, and you're like, this is more of a break than I wanted. It may also be exactly what your energy needed to recalibrate. One other thing that I want to highlight here with this 4 of Swords is there's a reminder here that things have a way of healing with time. And sometimes we just wish that we could be better overnight. Whether it's, I wish I could just get this grief out of me. That's not how grief works. Or I wish that this would just be over with already. And Spirit is saying, actually enjoy the process of being where you're at. Sometimes the journey is just as, if not more important than the destination. And this card is so focused on rushing to the next thing that I think the sweet spot is somewhere in between. Resting, but also thinking, well, what's next? And allowing yourself to dream. That actually is part of this. And so focusing on your daydreams, your dreams and desires, and also because I am someone that uses actual dreams to help interpret, pay attention to what's coming through in dreams. It is rich and seeped in intuition. And so this is a time to quiet down and pay attention to those inner thoughts, those inner desires, and again, your own intuition. In the recent past, we have the 3 of Cups in reverse, and this is basically reminding you everything in moderation. The reason I mention that is this is a joyous card, a party card, and it's also one where it's basically things in excess. Sometimes socializing too much, working too much, eating too much, anything to an extreme. Not as bad as the 9 of Cups, but when it's reversed, it's saying just pull back a little bit on whatever your particular vice or tendency might be when it comes to overdoing things, okay? So that's message one. Also, not surprisingly, because it's a little bit of a theme here with the deep past and now the recent past, impatience. Some of you just wish that things could get a little bit more solid. When I'm looking at someone that's working, this is typically a freelance or a non-committal card. It's sort of the employer saying, well, I think we'll need you maybe another week or two, and then I'm not sure, and you want more of a commitment. In a relationship, it's the courtship phase when nothing is clearly defined. What are we? It's that question, and many of you have that. How serious is this? And I really feel this desire for many of you to put down some roots because that is the crowning card. So it may almost be time to have that conversation, but you have to read the room. And that was the center card, making sure that the audience is ready because the audience isn't here right now. So one of the great things that you can do in this moment is if you want to have a conversation with someone, first of all, just check in. Say, what's been going on in your life? How are you feeling? I'd love to talk more about this. Is there a time that would work for you? Get it so that it's like perfectly aligned. It's all about timing. You do have the ability to receive that which you seek, but it is about, it's all about that timing, okay? So what I'm really picking up on here is the crowning card, which is stability, like firm foundation. We have the building card at the center, but this is the one where the magic really happens. And this is you, Virgo, Queen of Pentacles. So this is a card that is associated with domestic bliss. So, being in a relationship where you can count on somebody. And that relationship, we're not looking just at love. It can also be friendship or a work environment where you feel loved and appreciated. But there is this need in this moment to feel like I'm a part of something, I matter, and I'm doing something that for many of you is like both creative and structurally sound, because that's what we have here. Creativity, firm foundation, and again, where you feel like you're giving and receiving what you put into it. And loyalty is key too. So all of that being said, this is one of the best cards when it comes to money and creating and also attracting things. And I love that these three cards here, your crowning card, the card that represents you, and the outcome are magnets. So this is like the green thumb. Everything she touches grows. This is the card of envisioning, and this is the card of manifesting on what it is that you're envisioning, and it's touching an opportunity. You can do it. You can change the tide this month, Virgo. Whatever made you feel stuck previously, we can put it to rest, and you're going to wake up ready to go. You're not going to be sleepy like we see in this one. I already get that energy that you're ready now. Wait for the moment. Wait for the time where everything just aligns perfectly, and it's going to be easier then. We have a page here coming in. This can represent in the near future someone answering the call, because this is a communication and this is a response. So when opportunity knocks, answer. And this is a month also to express your ideas. This is innovation. This is constructive criticism. You have a lot to offer. See who's willing to listen. And the one thing that's kind of interesting here is it's almost like he's raising his voice, he's speaking up, he's like, is anybody there? It shouldn't be that hard. So I think that the main thing here is state your message, put it out there, and if there's no response, go where the response is. Don't force it. We don't have any cards representing the need to force things. So keep trying different outlets until one of them connects, and you'll find the right area here. But for my creative folks out there, it could be really advantageous to find a group of people that vibe in the same energy here. But this is a card associated with like painting, and this is a card associated with business, and this is a card associated with finance. So I see a lot of ability here, no matter what your business type or skill is, to bring it together. But you may be the one that calls together a group, or maybe, again, I'm getting entrepreneurial spirit this month. If you're trying to build or create something, it's the time to do it. You may just need to find the place to do it. So that's the next card here in the Two of Wands. This is a great time to do some traveling. This is also a great time to explore new things. Change up the environment and change up your experiences a bit. Two of Wands is also connected with the power of journaling, sketching, painting, and just allowing yourself to express the thoughts that are coming through, being a clear channel. And for those of you that are involved in like a brainstorming situation, you typically put everything on a whiteboard or chalkboard before judging any of it. There's no silly idea, because you could combine a couple of lesser ideas into a bigger idea, or you could take something that seems like it's outlandish and put it with another one, and it's like, this is perfect. Don't discount what's coming through. As a medium, what I've learned to do is speak what I see. I'm not here to judge, I'm here to deliver. It's kind of like, imagine if you're the person that delivers your post, your mail, or a package. If they were judging what you receive, that's not their job. Their job is to take it from wherever it came to wherever it needs to go. And when you're in a creative flow, you're the same thing. You're the medium, you're the channel. Just get it on paper and figure it out later. This is a chance for you to not judge yourself or the idea, because that sort of like stomps it out before it has a chance to grow, okay? In the environment here, we have the Eight of Cups, and there are a few things that I want to talk about with this. For some of you, this represents something that's coming back around that needs to be resolved. So part of this month is touched by retrograde, and you could be experiencing something that needs to basically be put to rest, since we have the Four of Swords. But it should be resolved once and for all because of that, because we have a card that, again, in the traditional illustration, shows something at its final resting stage. So know this, whatever it is you've tried to kind of like finish, this time you can actually do so successfully. This is also about making and breaking a cycle. So if there's been, like we had the Three of Cups, if there's something a vice that you want to release, you can let it go. If there's a new habit that you want to put into rotation, like a better way of eating or sleeping or taking care of yourself, this is a good time to start a new routine. This represents distance, and distance bringing clarity. In other words, if there's a major decision that you want or need to make in this period of time, give yourself enough time to explore the options before making that decision. Some of you may need to take a small trip to explore a new location. So let's say you are offered a job opportunity in another city, state, country, or province. You'd want to basically check that out before you sign on the dotted line. If there's something major with respect to a relationship or your health or your life, at least sleep on it, if not giving yourself like a week or so to kind of like consider the options. Time and distance will give you perspective. Then you can come back and say, I'm ready. All right. Finally, and this is connected to that resting message from the past, if you're overdue for a break, take one when you can. I know that not everybody has that luxury, but if you do have a little bit of vacation leave or sick days, or you just want to be better about self-care, this is the time to take some time off, because it will help you from avoiding one of the things that we talked about earlier, where you need time off and your body makes you sick so that you have no option but to sort of like relax. Take time so you don't get sick. Take time so you don't get burned out. Take the time so you can get perspective and see the opportunities that are knocking. And that's going to get you into this energy of having your third eye open and then recognizing this synchronicity. And that's really what this month wants to bring to you, is this Ace of Wands and hopes, fears, and opportunities. There could be a little bit of fear of change because we have that beautiful butterfly, but it is worth it. It is worth experiencing whatever this change is bringing about. I'm seeing a renewal here, a return to vitality, a new idea, a new job opportunity, and if there is a relationship, mutual attraction, there's something good on the horizon here. And you are the agent of this change. You're calling it forth. You can make it happen, okay? The Magician is also, for some of you, it's going in a new direction. He has each of the elements at his altar, and he may decide to kind of like pick something up that he hasn't learned or dealt with before, but there's the potential for magic to happen there. We're actually seeing which element here. So fire is coming through. Creativity and passion, very much a part of this. And he's deciding to take his wand here, the magic wand, but also like connect to fire. So I feel like this is a month where you're going to pick something that you're passionate about, see it through to the sort of finish line, and this could really open up some exciting new doors and opportunities for you. Let's go ahead and expand this a little bit further. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny and see what's coming through. I'm going to turn the camera down and just shut the blinds behind me so there's no more glare. And then we'll get started. All right. Sometimes I do that off camera and people are like, how did that happen? So that's how it happens. All right. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the oracle card here. Freedom. Hello, this is great. So when it comes to health, which again is your mind, body, and spirit, what we're looking at in this moment is messages around how to feel a sense of freedom, liberation, and basically just, I think for some of you, there could be a relationship in particular. We're not looking at love, but this is what's coming through. Someone in your life that feels like they're the boss and they don't listen. Parents can be this way. But it can also be a friend. It doesn't have to be your partner. It doesn't have to be blood. And it feels like there is a separation from this energy. And it's kind of like, I need to figure this out on my own, right? For everyone else, it's saying enjoy the freedom. If something has come to pass, as we see here in this particular Four of Swords, whatever it was, it's kind of freeing you up to experience new things. So enjoy space, enjoy freedom, and spread your wings a little bit. Try something new in this period. Really embrace the idea and the truth that you are free to decide and free to explore new things. All right, before I get into this, standard disclaimer applies. I am a medium and I'm a tarot reader. I'm going to do my best to see where energy may affect your health and well-being. Always work with a doctor if you're going through something. All right, that being said, let's see what the energy is showing. As I said earlier, I think it's just time to create a little bit more positive distraction is what I'm going to say here. So more fun, more impromptu sort of activities where it's like, let's just take the afternoon off and experience something. Life is too finite to work all the time. You have to have some fun. This card is effective if and only if you're feeling like you're on top of your emotions. If you're feeling like that wave is crashing down on you, obviously you'll want to work with somebody. So heightened sensitivity sometimes can make you feel like it's overwhelming. And I also get this tendency to want to pull back from social activities. You don't have to say yes to everything, but do say yes to some things. And if you're feeling anxiety around going out or seeing certain people, that's when it might be helpful to talk to someone that can listen to you. This is also about creating new structures in your life. One thing that I learned, it's been about a decade now, when I decided to quit my job and start my own sort of like life and company and all of that, was I needed a new routine. I needed certain things that I would do in certain days and times, and structure created a sense of stability for me too. So make a new schedule, like I said earlier. How is your sleep, Virgo? Do you feel rested when you're sleeping? Is there a lot going through your mind? This is showing a lot of activity. It could be too much caffeine. It could be anxiety. It could also be sleep apnea. There's a lot of things. We want to go more towards the resting energy when we're looking at traditional sleep. So quality and quantity matter. If you're not getting that, speak with your doctor. A change of environment could really be beneficial. A vacation or a small trip could also be beneficial. Eight of Cups is getting away from it all for a little bit. Planning something as well, kind of like a carrot on a string, something that you can look forward to is also good. I actually like most of what I see here, and I think the key here is to create some space and to enjoy the freedom that might be coming into your life. And if you don't feel like you have it, to carve out something where it is your thing, your chance to just be yourself, okay? And one last time, looking at the Three of Cups in reverse, it's really about making sure that we're in the holiday season, everything in moderation, particularly when it comes to drinking, since that's part of this, but it can be anything that you overdo, overworking, overeating, overdrinking, stressing too much. It's not going to help. So less is more, and that's the main takeaway there. Let's move on to wealth. And this is such a rich card because of its mythological sort of roots. We're going to talk about this. So wealth, of course, is going to help you through resources, life purpose, and career. And we got Prometheus coming through here, of the Prometheus and Pandora myth. But Prometheus was, interestingly enough, connected with fire. And I mentioned at the magician's table, the thing that's coming through is fire. And what he did basically was steal fire from the gods and give it to humankind. And that resulted in technology and culture and civilization. So it actually does connect with altruism. He was trying to do the right thing, but he got punished for it, of course, because the gods are jealous. And then was kind of like tortured a little bit on a mountainside where a bird would come and consume his liver. And this process happened each day. It would grow back and then the bird would come back. So what it represents is complicated interactions in workplaces. Sometimes when you want to do the right thing, you're pushed away from that, or you're even punished. And that, my friends, is a big red flag. So if you work in a culture where it's toxic, because the liver is basically an organ that helps us detox. So the fact that that's what was consumed is really telling. Some of you might be in an environment where it's toxic and you try to say or do the right thing and you get shut down. It's time to move on if that's the case. Some of you are trying to fight a system that isn't just, and you're trying to make changes. So your goal in life right now is to disrupt things in the best possible way. And you're breaking a cycle. And remember what I said, this is a time to break a cycle. You can do it, but you shouldn't have to do it alone. Doing it alone is going to feel a little too heavy. Look at all the people that are connected here. Like I said, people that want to help. These could be volunteers, because this is a very senior card. These are very junior cards. So when it comes to doing something, try to rally support. And in order to change the tide, sometimes you need, or turn the tide, you need support or reinforcements. And that's what I'm seeing here. In some of the myths, I think Hercules came through and liberated Prometheus eventually, so there is a silver lining. But for a while, he was stuck in this cycle, and it was not his fault, really. And humankind benefited. And so sometimes you have to do the right thing, but you don't necessarily want to stick around in a culture that doesn't support you, like a work culture. So there's so much that came through with this. The fire is so cool, though, the fire of creative energy there that can help you really put together something new. And we want to make sure that you're also protecting your intellectual property. Because this card is also associated with theft, you want to make sure that you are protecting trademarks, copyrights, if there's anything that's going online that is taking away from your property, or if there's literally someone in a physical sense that's stealing, that needs to be dealt with, okay? This is a deep card with a lot of different meanings, but I like the inspirational piece, which is you might be able to build something new, take the passion and channel it and help others. I don't love the fact that there may be people around you that don't want you to do the right thing, but I hope ultimately that you can find a way to follow your heart and do what's right. That's the big takeaway there. We're going to now take a look at three major categories. Those that are currently working in a traditional job or own their own companies, those that are seeking employment, and then students and retirees. If you have a traditional job, whether it's part-time or full-time, here's what I'm picking up on. So part of the reason people value you so much, you're very good at creating things, getting it done. So many of you might even have a job as a project manager, as a manager or a producer, or you're someone's assistant or organizer because you just have that Midas touch. Keep doing what you're doing, but I really want to see you in the Queen energy, which is leading the charge. Some of you presently may be more in the assisting role, but I really do see leadership coming through. You have two really big boss cards, and we're just waiting for the timing of this opportunity here on the horizon here. So if you're in a current job and you're waiting for that glow up, first and foremost, I should say, let people know that you're interested in it. Like, I want to do more. I'm ready for this. And I do feel like some of you can manifest it now, but it could also be 6 to 8 months from now with this 8 of Cups here. It'll come around again soon. So set it into motion, but this is one of the best sequences of cards for putting a request out there. 2 of Wands, 8 of Cups. So this is the request, this is a return, this is a delivery on this, and this is you've manifested it. So this is one time where I really think that if you ask, they could deliver. If they don't, I honestly feel like you should spread the net a little bit wider and see where else you can you can go, because this is rich energy here. You should be able to thrive. And if you don't, then it has more to do with, like I said, there could be something toxic or weird about the environment where they don't want you to grow. So that's not good. But generally speaking, it looks like you can get what you're looking for, and I like that. The only challenge in current companies or current jobs is I feel like there are places that don't really care what you have to say. This is a one-way communication. No one's listening, and it's just being dictated, and that isn't effective. And if that is happening, there's only so much you can do to break through. One thing that came through as I was looking at this is power in numbers. So this, like I said, nobody at the center here is high ranking. Pages, though, are very powerful. In traditional corporate jobs, this would be like an administrative assistant. They hold the keys to power. You could get a couple of admins to get to a couple of decision makers, and that's how you make it happen, folks. It's not this person because they're out of touch. The admins, they're the ones that hold the keys. They're the ones that hold the key to getting a meeting with someone. Be nice to the admins. That's just a good way to live and connect. These are really hardworking people. But if you're trying to find a way to connect, work with the people that know the people. Also, power in numbers. If all of you group together and then you get the support of the gatekeepers, because this is a gatekeeper card, then you can make stuff happen. But it is about respecting, like getting that group, the group of the people that are doing the work. So, gosh, I guess this is really like a union, but something like that where it's all of the workers coming together and saying, this matters to us, you have to listen. And then you hold the Hierophant to account. So that's another thing here, could be unionization or organization to try to get the attention of this person that's not listening. There's nobody there. Okay? That's the only big challenge I see. I'm not seeing like a danger right now of losing something because the cards are, whatever's happening is happening. Whatever has already left seems to have left. So it feels like this is a mostly stable month, but that's frustrating and that's frustrating. And if this is baked into the culture, it's time to cast a wider net and look around, because it does feel like this is a good time to find something, particularly in this 6 to 8 week period before January. I would say before January 15th. Try to find something within that period of time, and then you can set the new year on a new trajectory. Okay? Last thing, the thrill is just gone for some of you, and it's not fun anymore. So you have to decide if you're living to work or if you're working to live. If you're working to live, then you create fun outside of work. If you're living to work and it's no longer fun, then do what you can to affect change, and then if you can't find it, seek it elsewhere. For all the entrepreneurs out there, I feel like I already kind of highlighted this, but I'm going to very quickly touch upon it again. This particular Hierophant is doing too much at once. So however you can delegate, that would be the first message. Please do so. If you don't have it within your budget to do delegation, then it's about working smarter. Maybe taking your workflow and streamlining it a bit. If you're not seeing an energetic return on certain things, it's time to kind of cut that out of the sequence. So that's the first thing that I see here. Also soliciting customer feedback and asking people like, what do you like? What do you wish I could do? This can be in the form of a social media post or a newsletter that has like a reply link where people can send suggestions, a suggestion box in a traditional establishment, anything where you're really tuning in to what people have to say, because they have a lot of feedback and you can learn a lot from that. So tap into all of this here. You have some loyal customers, you might have a couple unhappy ones. From all of that, you can figure out how to streamline your process a bit. I do think it's going to be a good quarter ahead for you. However, can you keep up with the demands here? And this is why it's important to crunch the numbers, focus on where your strongest line of business is, figure out also what's going on overseas. Some of you might need to bring some work back where you're living, or you might need to relocate for your business, whatever. Looking at different locations is really important right now too. You can make it work. That's the key thing here. I'm seeing beneficial cards, but listen to the customers and pay attention to the landscape, particularly geographically, maybe where it makes sense to work or locate your business. There may be tax breaks in different cities, states, countries, or provinces. And if you can get a break by working somewhere else, that might be the place to do it. This is especially true for those of you that might be doing like a film production. Certain states or certain countries do a deep discount, but we also now need to look at things like the cost of operating, the taxes associated with being in certain places, all of that. Okay, let's move on. Job seekers. I love what I see here. I love that we've got the Ace of Wands. I would prefer an Ace of Pentacles, but I'll take the Ace of Wands. What I see for some of you could be 2 or 3 interviews with the same company, a chance to get it, but it's really important to go in person. I know you don't always get a chance to do that, but if you can do a face-to-face, do it for multiple reasons. One, to see if you vibe with the person, but more importantly, since Prometheus came through, do you like the culture? Do they reward honesty, integrity, and doing the right thing, or are they kind of closed off? So really do your homework on the culture. And I think that's going to be the make it or break it decision point for you. Ultimately, though, yes, this is a month where it may not happen immediately. We have the 8 of Cups here. So for some of you, there are 2 different ways I can read this. It could actually be 8 weeks. For the rest of you, these are not full-time cards. If you're looking for a full-time job, this is typically contract work or ebb and flow. You might actually have a side hustle. So we see on and off work, and then we see potentially a freelance gig or a contract job where, it's going to tide you over until the new year, but we really want to get you to the Ace of Wands here. And so one of the ways that you can go to that Ace of Wands is possibly relocating, if you're open to doing that. Or again, traveling a little bit more for work. You don't necessarily have to move. Or thinking of doing something like a startup of your own. This is really up to you. Also, this is really important, folks. The 3 of Cups is basically professional gatherings. So next year, I've already signed up for 2 of those in 2 different industries that I work in. So, and usually there's early registration. So I try to go like 6 or 8 months before it happens, you can sign up for certain events. So whether you're in public relations or design or like food, whatever, there's a lot of times different conventions and gatherings where it's worth getting a ticket or signing up for some sort of, even if you're just going to go to some of the free meet and greets, this could be really helpful because you might be able to meet a recruiter or someone that you could partner up with if you're in a similar field, and this could help you out, okay? So say yes to networking events, say yes to professional events, and go to gatherings where you might meet like-minded folks. This includes if you used to work somewhere and there's like, someone says, hey, do you want to come to my office party? Say yes. You might meet someone at their office party that could open up a job for you. So network and get out there, folks, okay? Let's now move on. We just looked at those who were looking for work. So now let's go to students and retirees. For students, it's really a good read. You might have the best student read that I've looked at this month. Just stay on top of things, stay organized. It does feel like some of you are isolating a bit, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. You're focusing on getting something done, and you might even be sort of like cordoning yourself off a little bit. So finish what you've started here. It all looks good. I don't really need to micromanage in this for you. You know what you're doing. The only thing that I will say, it has more to do with health and well-being. So are you getting enough sleep? Make sure that you're doing that. I think it would be helpful from time to time to make sure that you're not sacrificing certain friendships or relationships just for work. So try to, if anything, there's not enough. It feels like some of you may be working too much. So make sure there's a little bit of time with friends and family and that you're doing some things that are connecting you to joy. Otherwise, why are you working so hard, right? You may also be looking to study abroad. I actually feel like for some of you, it's more than a semester. You might be looking at going to a school in a different country, and this is very exciting. Plan it out. You don't have to do this overnight, but it does feel like you can make this happen. Whatever you're studying, whatever you're doing right now, stay with that energy. Just take care of yourself and make sure that you connect with people that you love. Okay, focusing now on retirees. I actually feel like you're really comfortable in this moment. Queen of Pentacles, whether she's with someone or not, she's happy. She's happy where she's at. She's potentially planning 1 or 2 trips or 1 or 2 activities in the coming weeks. yes to all of this. I think planning is what's like, the older I get, the more I appreciate knowing that there's something to look forward to tomorrow, next week, etc. So I love to at least map out a couple of months ahead and know that this is on the horizon. I love having a project too, whether it's a podcast or something else that I'm working on. I'm like, oh yeah, that's coming up. I can't wait. So give yourself something to look forward to, and it feels like it's just because it makes you feel fun. And maybe for some of you, you're going to connect with the sort of subtext on this, or the caption, altruism. You're going to give back because you can, because you're in a position where you know that people can benefit from your advice, your support, your mentorship. So yes to all of that. Interestingly enough here, there is a chance for you to mix and mingle and make new friends and connections right now. 1 or 2 new friends or connections. And for those that are retired, this is fantastic. Younger people too. So I do feel like if you wanted to go into teaching or working with youth, this could be a great time to do exactly that. And it is something that it keeps you young at heart too. So yes to all of that. Let's go ahead and move on to love and relationships. We have Haniel coming through here with a message around being embraced by love. So this card was reversed. And part of what she's reminding us is let love reach where it has never reached before. So for those of you that are looking for love, we couldn't ask for much of a better card here. But for those of you that tend to be the Queen of Pentacles, you give and give and give. Open yourself up also to receive and to be held up and to be embraced, figuratively speaking, by the people around you. So ask for help if you need it. If people want to give you something, say yes. In the form of like opportunity or just support. This is a time to really allow those around you to give back, basically reciprocity. Let's break this down into 3 categories. Those in a relationship, looking for love, or single and happy. If you're currently in a relationship, as we've been talking about, listening is everything. Make sure that you feel like you've been listened to and that also you're listening to your partner. Now, what I'm really picking up on here is it feels like being pulled in all these different directions. So if you have children, they're showing up here. And what's happening here is it just feels like the 2 of you are just constantly going from one event to another, or one of you is doing the lion's share of this and it's just creating some exhaustion. So making sure that this is manageable. And sometimes here there might be a chance for carpooling. So I mentioned delegating. There's only so many hours in a day and so much time that the 2 of you can donate to all of these things. So sometimes finding ways where it doesn't have to be the 2 of you, and there are other ways to make sure that the kids are getting where they need to be. The 2 of you may also just be really laden down by work right now. So making sure that there's time for fun in that mix, because we did have the playful card coming through with that. Planning a vacation together could be so important in this period of time. It does not have to happen right now. I talked about professional events, like for networking, and how you can save money by booking it ahead. Same thing with vacations. You could be planning something in the spring. But this is also just a great card for saying, I see myself with you in the future, whether it's for this vacation or for like the long run. Just letting the partner know that they matter and that they're in the picture is so valuable. Also, that you see them. I see you, I hear you, and I appreciate you, because they may really need to receive that message. Also, letting your partner know that you appreciate it when you get that validation too. Whatever you need to feel loved, supported, and part of this sort of unit is really key. Here's what I like. This represents passion, or a spark between the 2 of you. This is chemistry. And it may just be about reconnecting. And by the way, intimacy and chemistry, it's not just about what happens in the bedroom. It's also doing things that are just fun and that you feel like I'm with my best friend having a good time. So intimacy is multifaceted. Yes, it's physical, but it's also intellectual and it's emotional. And it's just spending time with each other. So make time for intimacy in all of its different facets. And if you do that, I feel like you're in a good space. It's all about love and being present. These are not really problematic cards. Listening is something that can be done. It may be a little bit out of the comfort zone for one or both of you, but you can make it happen. So there are 2 cards here that could be challenging. The 3 of Cups could be busybodies, gossip. even someone from the past that's coming back and feeling like they want to try to drive a wedge between the two of you. Here's the good news. You guys are solid as a rock. These are two very stable cards. So leave the past in the past, put it to rest, and have really good boundaries. Gossip, there's a phrase out there that, it's none of my business what you think, and it's none of your business what I think. And so, just let that be. You can never make everybody happy. And the sooner that you realize that, the happier that you're going to be. And I think that's the big takeaway here. Focus on the two of you. Most of the cards are pretty good this month, okay? Looking for love. Let's see what's going on here. First of all, what I'm getting here is a young person with an old soul. So you could be pulling in someone who you're like, how are you so wise at such a young age? There could be an age differential that's coming through as well, but I do feel like it's a good match. Pages are usually no more than 10 years. So it could be 5 to 7 years, but up to 10. But someone who's on the level when it comes to maturity. This could also be someone that is the same age or older, but they have this sort of youthful vibe. So something unusual about age and wisdom coming through, but it's a match. What I really like here is passion and chemistry. You won't need me or anyone else to tell you if it's a match. If you feel it, if you feel the sparks, go for it. And let them know that you're interested. No game playing here. Oops, I pulled this card, or pushed this card upside down. This one here with the Two of Wands, since it was it was on its back for a second. This is about making sure that you're looking around you, because you, just like that, you could be missing something if you're not careful. So if you are out and about at a party or something and you're not the most social person, put the phone in your pocket. Bring someone with you that can basically take away some of the stress of being in that environment, and that will help too. And they may say, hey, that person's checking you out. I feel like there is someone that's interested in the periphery, but it is a matter of picking up on the cues. And for some of you, whether it's a confidence thing or distraction thing, you're not picking up on the cues. So look around. And the other thing is, there's something about this person that may not be your traditional expected type, because we have something here with age and wisdom that you're like, oh, how would they be interested, or why would I be interested? But when you get talking to them, there's a spark. So be open. That's my main message. Can you find someone? Absolutely. We have at least 2 or 3 options coming through. We have water, we have fire, and we have maturity. Now, this I really am reading as you, but there could also be earth coming through as well. But with all those things, what is the focus? What is it you're trying to do? Whenever I get all the elements or too many elements, the magician has to be discerning in order to be effective. So what are you looking for? And that will help you a little bit. And when I'm not talking about type, not physical type, more attributes. Narrow it down a little bit. The type of person you're calling in is probably not someone from your current circle. Or if it is, it's someone that is from the deep past. It's either from a different place altogether or someone that you haven't seen in years and years and years. This time around, though, if it is someone from the past, the sparks fly, you know it. And if it is someone that you've never met, there is just a connection. So trust that, and that won't lead you astray. Okay, moving on. If you're happily single, good for you. I still feel like you could be meeting some great people. This is a time to network, and I think really working on a passion project right now, whether it's home improvement or learning something new, it's so important. And you can get so much done in this moment in time. So single and happy, here's what I see for you. Financial success, and really being able to see something to the finish line. Creative projects, travel, feeling inspired, and meeting new people that are like-minded. So this is a great month for single and happy. Let's go ahead and move on to destiny. You received 2 cards, and wow, do they work really well together. Some of you are done with politics, done with the politics of a workspace where it's you have to do this in order to fit in, or a school situation. You might just be over politics in general. We just had a lot of that entering the main stage, and you're like, you know what, enough is enough. And but what I really think for many of you is I don't want to play by the old rule book. I want to do something unique to me. So let's just read them as separate cards. Peace and quiet. I think this is something that can really help right now, and it is connected primarily to the Eight of Cups. Finding a space where you can recalibrate, where you can figure out, this is what I stand for, this is what I want, I'm going to be okay, like kind of like centering yourself. Meditation for sure is a part of this, okay? So this is a beautiful message. This particular card is very much Seven of Swords energy. And so what we want to avoid is spending too much time with people that lack integrity, that don't follow through on what they promise to do. And what you're really doing is saying enough is enough to that. You don't have room in your life right now for people who can't come through, okay? And there's too many positive energies in this spread to have to deal with that anymore, all right? And maybe just not talking about politics, all right? We can take it at face value too. Let's go ahead and take a deeper dive now and look at sun, rising, and moon sign messages and see what Spirit has to say. Sun, rising, and moon. All right, we'll begin with Virgo sun. So I love that we have the Emperor card coming through, representing your ability to make it happen. This is the boss card, the ultimate boss card. So if you want something, do it. If you need something, speak it into existence. And know that if you're currently in this situation where you're juggling a lot of things at once, it's not always going to be that way. And it's really just about pushing through this period. You may also be looking for something where you have a voice. And if you're trying to manifest something where you're the emperor, it can sometimes take a little bit longer. This is particularly for the job seekers out there. This is a leadership role. Leadership roles are more sought after and not as abundant. So be patient with yourself. But I see so many cards between the High Priest, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Emperor that are about entrepreneurial energy. So just know that if you want to start something, this is a great time to do so. Okay? Perfect. Let's move on from sun to rising. Seven of Wands, working smarter, not harder, and knowing when and if it's going to be appropriate for you to speak up, to fight, to engage about something that matters. This is a great card overall for any sort of defense. So if you have to take something to court or just fight to be heard, you have a great chance of winning with Seven of Wands. This is someone I'd want on my side. However, it's on the heels of the Six of Wands, which is success. So sometimes if you're too sought after or too overloaded, it's about discernment. I can do this, I can't do that. I don't think this is ready. I don't think this is the time. So pushing back when necessary, literally that's what we see him doing here in this card, okay? Push back on anything unreasonable that isn't feasible or that isn't worth your time and energy. Moving on to moon sign, making choices. So there's a common theme there of discernment between these two. The Two of Pentacles is a lot more direct, though. It's saying you have to choose sometimes between two options in front of you. And there may be shades of gray, like, I don't know, it's just a little bit. This is where you focus on your heart. This one feels right. This one pays more. This one's going to happen faster. Pick that sort of low-hanging fruit, the thing that's the most obvious, and there'll be something that helps you make the decision if it is, a very, very difficult or gray margin there that you're trying to kind of discern between. This is also about creating balance in your life. If you're working too much and not having enough fun, work-life balance. If you're spending too much time away from home and you really want to spend time with your kids or with your pet or just by yourself, whatever, finding a way to create balance. And then from a sheer schedule and financial standpoint, it's about being frugal, frugal and realistic when it comes to your budget. Don't spread yourself too thin. And if you have a couple of options, don't extend yourself for that high cost option if it's not going to pay off in the long run. Keep to your budget. All right. And now we have a chance for one last card. Anything that you're currently trying to figure out, go ahead, close your eyes, ask the question. Let's see what the universe has to say, and I will report. All right. It's a pretty good card, folks. It's a celebratory card. So you got both the Three of Cups and the Nine of Cups, which says good news should be en route. And this is basically about when it happens, don't second guess it. Celebrate the little victories too, as well as the big ones. and really practice gratitude each and every day. I'm grateful that I got through this challenge. I'm grateful that this was easier. I'm grateful that I don't have to talk to that person. Whatever you're grateful for today, just for the breath in your lungs, like we can keep it super simple. That you're able to put food on the table or take care of yourself or whatever it is. Start with gratitude, celebrate the big and little victories, and have some fun, folks. The only thing, again, with Nine of Cups is it can be a card of punctuated highs and lows and extremes. So let's try to find something in the middle. Let's not go to the extremes. And that's everything. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your channel and to really share all that Spirit wanted to bring through today. It was my pleasure and honor to do so. If you enjoyed this, show your love and support in a simple way by subscribing if you're brand new, liking the video if this was something that really touched your heart and connected with what you're going through, and then comment below. Let me know how it resonated. It means a lot, and I read each and every comment. It comes up on my phone, my devices, and I go to YouTube every day to look and see what you guys are saying, so thank you. Give me a follow on social media as well, just in case you don't get the notifications. On all major platforms, it's my first and last name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, and you can find all of those links on the main YouTube channel page or on my website. I've actually been on Blue Sky for a long time since it's been in beta, but if you're new to that and want to join me, it's the same address as my website, nicholasashbaugh.com. So you can see all of the links right here on the screen, and you can also go to my website for more information. And just be mindful of imposters. They pop up here and there. I don't offer private readings. I don't use direct messages, and I would never use comments to try to solicit business. So be mindful of anybody doing that. Let me know about it as well so I can block and report. If you want to show love and support, you can do it right here on YouTube through memberships, super stickers, super chats, and you can even leave a comment with a sticker. And thank you so much for anybody that does any or all of those, because without your support, I wouldn't be able to do as much as I do here. So thank you. Just watching an ad in a video also supports this, so thank you for that. And I think we have covered it all. So let's look at Apollo as we sign off here. I just want to say thank you so much for being the absolute best part of what I do here on YouTube. I wouldn't be able to show up without your love and support. Let's give Apollo a little pat on the head, and then I will wrap it up for today, Virgo. Hey, buddy. Good boy. Yes. Good dog. Yes, you are. All right, everybody. With that being said, thank you so much. I'm going to spend some quality time with my little fur baby in the background. Wishing you a great month ahead. Make sure to check out my weekly, monthly, and daily videos. And again, take special care of yourselves. Bye-bye.